Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how I created these beautiful linen napkin place settings for my son's communion. So I picked up this beautiful linen fabric from my local fabric store, and then I measured it out and cut it widthwise into even sections so I wouldn't waste any fabric. I have a cutting mat and a rotary cutter, but if you don't, you can just use a fabric scissor. Make sure you never use a scissor that's been used on other items. Always keep your fabric scissor strictly for fabric, just to keep it sharp and cutting properly. So I try to keep the fabric as even as possible and made sure the edges were lined up before I started cutting. And I cut these ones out to 18 inches width. Here I'm just cutting off the raw edge just to keep everything looking neat. So here I'm measuring out the width of the fabric to see how many napkins, how many decent sized napkins I could create. And I believe this gave me about 5 or 6 napkins lengthwise, and they were 18 inches as well. So I did an 18 by 18 inch napkin. So this is another method that you can use. My mother used to do this all the time, and it only works with certain fabrics, but it did work with this one. So what you want to do is just cut a little notch where your 18-inch mark is, and then just tear the fabric, and this will give you a clean, straight cut and a very even cut. Actually, this method is the method I suggest you use, because when I cut the fabric, I actually didn't cut it as straight as I thought, and then my frayed edges were a little crooked that I had to fix them in the end. You'll see what I mean by that. So here I am just fraying the edges. I want to give it that really cute rustic frayed edge look, and what you're going to do is you're going to pull the threads 1 or 2 at a time. I suggest doing it 1 at a time, because once you start doing 2, they start getting tangled and you end up taking longer than you would have if you just pulled 1 at a time. So I first started with my fingers, and then I moved on to using my little Cricut tool, and that came in handy. You could also use a pin or a crochet hook or something like that. This was very time consuming. It took me a long time to do 30 napkins. It was definitely a labor of love, but so worth it in the end. So here you can see the frayed edges. They're not super straight. Like I said, they're a little longer on one edge and a little shorter on the other, just because of the way I had cut my fabric. So I went back in with my ruler and my rotary cutter, and I just straightened out those edges. So here I just wanted to give you a close-up of what I'm doing. So basically I'm just taking the thread that's on the outer perimeter and I'm just pulling it one by one. So once you get it released, you're just gonna pull it and it should come out completely, and then you'll do the next one. So you can do this one by one. You can do two at a time. I just find it sometimes gets tangled. Now I'm applying a custom personalized name to the napkin. This is going to be for my son's communion, and I'm using it as a place setting to show guests where they'll be seated. This name I created using my Cricut Maker, and the font I used is from thefont.com, and it's called Cherolina, Cherolina. And it's a beautiful, very dainty, classy kind of font, and I love it. I opted to place the name on the outer corner so that when I fold it, it would show the frayed edges all around the perimeter. And then I went outside, and these are the napkin rings I picked up from my local Dollarama. These were $1.75 each, and they only came in the rose gold color. So obviously that didn't go with the look I was going for. So I just went outside and I sprayed them out in my favorite matte black spray paint. Because I wasn't able to find enough of the other style, I also had to pick up these ones that kind of look like a barbed wire. They were also pretty, and again, I had to spray them out in the matte black. So at this point, my garden came in handy. I went outside and I picked some fresh thyme just because I loved the look of it, the smell of it, and it dries very nicely as well. So I used this to add some color to the place setting, and it also goes with the theme I'm going for. I cut the length to the size I needed, and then I just used some raffia that I picked up at my local Michael's store and wrapped the ends with the raffia. So these are just some placemats I picked up in my local Dollar Tree, along with some chargers that kind of give that wood look. And this is the whole place setting all together. I love it. I think it looks great. It really brought my vision to life, and I couldn't be happier with the way it all turned out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe for more. And once again, thank you so much for watching.